What's up, YouTube? I'm working on this 2005 Ford Escape, and it's having a code actually. So I got my code reader plugged in, and I'm just gonna try to get the code that comes up. P0443, which is referring to the evap purge solenoid. And I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys how to change that. Okay, so looking from the front of the vehicle, the purge solenoid is actually right here. So it has a connector, and it has a line that goes to it. Just gotta disconnect those two, and there's one bolt right here, and there's another bolt on the opposite side. Gotta take those bolts off. Now before I start anything, I'm just gonna disconnect the battery cable. Now I gotta take off the snorkel. And to get this line off, it's a quick connect system. You just push on this tab and pull up, and I just twist it out of the way. That's it. So now I get my flathead screwdriver, and I'm just gonna back this screw out that holds the clamp. Get this one up top. Once I have that loose, just gonna pop this clip out, this wire harness, and it's just one of those Christmas tree type clips. Snap in. Pull that off. Pull that off. And for now, I'm just gonna twist the stuff out of the way, leave it on the side. And I'm doing all that just to gain better access. Now there's a little clip under this harness, and you just pretty much it's not really a clip. It just like a little cup that slides over a shaft. Just grab it like so, and just pull up, and it comes right out. And that's it right there, and it slides on this little shaft right here. And that's just to give me a little more wiggle room with the harness. So I zoomed in a little bit so you can see where the connector is, and I just gotta squeeze this tab and pull it out, unplug it, put that to the side, and there's a clamp right here, down in here for the hose. So as I go along, I realize I gotta move the rest of the harness out of the way. So I'm just gonna disconnect it from the throttle. It's the same, just gotta press and pull. There you go. And to what it looks like I'm gonna have to remove the hose, but I'm trying to get to it without removing it. But that back bolt is all the way in the back here, so there's really no room to get to it. That should be it right there. Okay, so what I've noticed is I'm trying to avoid taking the hose off to get to that back bolt. So I went for my 1/4" drive socket set, and I put the 10mm on it, the short one, with a swivel extension, and I just backed the hose out, as you could see, just a little bit, and that just gave me enough room to slide that socket on and have it sit like nice and flush. So I'm just gonna put my drive on this other end and back that out. Now getting it back on, I gotta see if it's as easy as taking it off, but hopefully it goes back on with no issues. And from here, I got the back bolt out, so I'm just gonna use my Icon 10mm to finish taking it off. And I disconnected that hose already. And it shouldn't be a big issue putting it back in. The bolts are long, they're both the same. That's the one in the back. This one I just took out. So they're pretty long. They're about 2 inches long, 1.5 inches maybe. So I just gotta start the first maybe 4 or 5 threads, and then I should be able to put it back in with no issues. But this is the old part. Just gotta match it up. So here's the new part. Here's the old one. And in comparing them, you could see that just want to make sure they're identical. It came from the dealer, but I still like to match it up just to make sure. 6 pins, same. Yeah, everything matches up. And I took the gasket off the old one. I gotta reuse it. So this is what it looks like. I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit, put it and reuse it. So I just cleaned it up the best I could, and I'm just gonna put it on. And now I'm ready to mount it back. So now I got my bolt, just gonna feed it in. And the bolts will actually stay in on the gasket, the way the gasket is designed. So all you gotta do is thread them in a little bit and it'll hold. See, it's not falling out. And I just got to go back for my Icon 10mm flex head. And I'm going to try to catch the threads on these front bolt. Okay, so I got it with my finger instead. I go back with my 10mm on the swivel head. Front one, okay, that's tight. Back one's kind of tricky. Still got the swivel head on. Snug it up. I'm not sure the torque spec on this, so I'm just gonna snug it. It's aluminum, so I'm sure it's not a lot of torque. Good. Now I gotta put the hose back on. And I definitely need hose clamp pliers. Go. Clamp is on, bolt is in, go under the back is very hard to see, but that's in. And now is to put everything back together, clear the code, and monitor it to see if the code comes back or not. Okay, so everything's good. Now just gotta connect everything back. Well, first I gotta put this hose on. It didn't use up a lot of, it didn't lose a lot of coolant, but like I said, I'm gonna flush it anyway. Take snorkel, that snaps in. Slides in. That's it. Okay, so that's back, that's on, everything's plugged up. So that's the finished product. You can see everything is back on, all button back up. And a quick note, if the vehicle is equipped with a anti-theft system, once you disconnect the battery and you put it back on, the alarm is going to be going off and the vehicle is not going to start. Now, to reset that, what you got to do is you got to disconnect the positive cable. So pop the hood open, put the prop up. You're going to disconnect the positive end of the cable, leave that hanging. Then you're going to go inside the vehicle. Once inside the vehicle, you're going to take the key, put it in the ignition. You're going to put it to the on position, and you're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. Now, after that, after about 10 minutes or so, you're going to go back to the front. You're going to come back to the battery. You're going to reconnect the positive cable while the key is still in the ignition in its on position. You go back inside, turn the key off, and that should disable the system. Now, if it did not disable it, then that means you did not leave the cable off long enough. So you just got to do it again and leave it off for maybe 10-12 minutes and redo the process, and that should disable the anti-theft system and you'll be able to start the vehicle again. Now, thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.